There is an old tale whispered on the wind along dusty paths about a woman and her two pots. It's a story that asks a quiet, profound question. What if your greatest weakness was, in fact, a hidden strength? What if your cracks were not for leaking, but for watering? Our story begins with an elderly woman, face etched with kindness and strength, carrying a pole across her shoulders. On one end hangs a perfect pot, gleaming and full. The other end holds a cracked pot, humble and slightly leaking, each drop darkening the earth beneath it. For 2 years, this was her daily pilgrimage. From the stream to her home, one pot arrived proud and full. The other arrived ashamed and only half full, believing its only purpose was to diminish. The perfect pot basked in its own wholeness, while the cracked pot drowned in a quiet shame that grew day by day until it could no longer be contained. The cracked pot expressed its sorrow. I am ashamed. This crack, this flaw in my side. I leak. I waste your effort. I am not enough. The woman stops in her tracks upon hearing this. She doesn't sigh. She doesn't frown. Instead, a deep, knowing smile spreads across her weathered face. She gestures, not to the water they've lost, but to the path they've traveled. With a voice warm as the sunlight, she asks, "Did you notice the flowers?" Along the path where the cracked pot hung, there was a vibrant, breathtaking border of wildflowers, a river of color and life. The other side of the path was bare and dusty. The cracked pot went silent in confusion. "Flowers?" The old woman returned with a voice warm as soil. "Your crack is not a failure, it is an opening. For 2 years, I have planted seeds on your side of the path, and every single day, your unique journey, your struggle, has watered them. You haven't been less. You have been different. And in that difference, you have created life that would not exist without you." Upon hearing this and observing these results, the cracked pot's expression of shame doesn't just fade. It shifts. Its gaze drops to the vibrant flowers, then to its own crack, not as a flaw, but as a sacred source of life. In that moment, the pot didn't just feel better, it understood a profound truth. What we perceive as broken within us is often the very place where our deepest empathy takes root. Our unique purpose begins. It was not broken. It was designed for a different kind of giving. The perfect pot had one purpose, but the cracked pot had two. Its value was never in its ability to hold everything in, but in its glorious capacity to give life along the way. Moral of the story. This story illustrates a profound psychological shift, moving from a focus on deficit to a focus on purpose. Your perceived flaws and past wounds, our cracks, are not just imperfections to be tolerated. They are often the very channels through which your unique value flows into the world. Psychological research shows that our struggles can fuel empathy and prosocial behavior, turning personal challenges into sources of connection and contribution. Furthermore, a truly expansive and impactful life is measured not by perfect self-containment, but by our capacity to nurture the ecosystem around us, to water the gardens we pass. While society often prizes perfection, true resilience and meaning are found in positive reframing. The ability to see our struggles not as failures, but as the source of our distinct strengths, empathy, and creativity. The goal is not to become the perfect pot, holding everything in. The goal is to practice the highest form of emotional intelligence, to see the hidden, purpose-giving cracks, with all their leaks and losses, as uniquely equipped within yourself and others, and to consciously plant the seeds and water the gardens you pass that will allow them to bloom. So, tend your garden. And remember, the cracks are how the light and the life gets through.